What is up, everybody? We are talking about Nero today, who does not have a very impressive basic attack, but these skills are absolutely phenomenal. The aerial damage is great. Might as well take a second to talk while I'm stunned. His S3 is absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love his S3. It's very functional, great crowd control, absolutely wrecks. As soon as Homeboy wakes up, we will definitely drop that. Kit's charging up alright. Here we go. Bam. That absolutely wrecks. And we get to drop his S4. I love it. This guy's skill kit is great, and he's got the whole prosthetic arm. He does have the coolest devil form, I think. I've always just thought it was awesome. Great S4, looks absolutely phenomenal. I love the transformation. So we're going to talk about this guy because there's just a lot of different paths to damage that this guy has. One of them being aerial combat. The other is just the fact that his ability kit, his skill kit, is so diverse, right? We have fire, we have lightning, he does, thunder, and then he does earth damage. That's S1, S2, and S3. His S4 does not seem to have an element, right? So what does that mean? That means in order to power up all of those elements, it's going to be expensive AF, right? Because, like, you know, fire attack rise 2, that's like 11 SC. Earth attack rise, that's, you know, 9 to 11 SC. But let's actually take a look at him and why that might actually be feasible, depending on what you're fighting with this character. Let's actually look at the complete version of him. Depending on what you're fighting, you can pretty much just gear him up with those expensive abilities that you need, because he has everything else covered. Okay, his haste is actually included in his, what is it called, Blood Queen or something like that. It's already included in one of his traits. So his trait just has haste written into it, which is a super potent and expensive ability to be had on your skill tree. I'm actually just going to walk to the router to hurry this loading thing along. I don't know what the deal is here. Don't know what the deal is. What's... There we go. Alright. So here he is. I'll actually get a better look at him here. So notice his abilities. We have aerial combat, which is a front medium area fire combo attack. This also gets a huge boost from his weapon. It gives him an extra 25% to the damage of his S1. Think about that. That's pretty awesome. 25%. On top of that, it's aerial damage, so it can be multiplied even more with Sky High 1 and Sky High 2. So he has a very easy path to that. You could make this spammable. I already talked about a jump party with Bad Boy Shin, right? And of course, this is fire. So this is going to benefit from Fire Attack Rise 1 and Fire Attack Rise 2. If you want to spam the hell out of this in a fight where, you know, fire is the strong element, he can do that. We also have Overture. This is where he uses that prosthetic arm of his, pulls the enemy for a frontal medium area thunder combo attack. Or if it's unmovable, you move to it. So that's cool. It can propel you across the screen, cut the distance, right? And it is thunder damage, right? So, of course, he can take advantage of Thunder Attack Rise 1 and Thunder Attack Rise 2 if he has to. Now, I know these are very expensive abilities, but I think towards the end of this, you'll pretty much agree with me that what else is he going to spend it on? Because he literally has everything else. He doesn't even have to have haste as part of his skill tree. Haste is just written into his traits, right? And then we have Helter Skelter, his S3. His S3 is Earth combo. So you can use Earth Attack Rise 1, Earth Attack Rise 2 on him if you want to really power up these abilities. Now, I'm not saying you're going to run Fire Attack Rise 1 and 2 and Earth Attack Rise 1 and 2 and Thunder Attack Rise 1 and 2, if we even have both of those. Obviously, you know, that there's your ADSC. But really, it's like he pretty much has everything else covered. Like, and he also has a huge bonus to his S1, and he has some extra aerial damage bonuses already in his kit. So let's look at that. Actually, first let's look at his traits. Oh, and fun little fact, he does have the highest strength. He's at the 1300 mark. Dante, the OG, he's only at 1200, I think. But hey, this guy has a robotic arm. There's probably a lot of strength in that thing, right? And of course, his S4 is non-elemental. So you'd have to... Actually, I don't know if non-elemental attack rise would apply to his S4. I do know that you can get something that boosts your S4 damage or special damage. There's also that path to take. And I know we're talking about super expensive abilities here, but let's actually go through his skills, because once you really go through his skills, you're like, okay, what else is he going to spend SC on, right? But first, the traits. So Devil Breaker. Here's what makes this guy very interesting, right? When battle starts, get a buff from a set Devil Breaker. He has like 3 or 4 of them. They have phenomenal strong abilities on them. But when you start taking damage, there's a chance that it breaks. So you switch to another Devil Breaker. So it's like his robotic arm keeps getting broken, and he's like, okay, I brought a spare, and this one does this. They're all very powerful abilities, and it's kind of like, I still have to play around with it a little bit, but I don't know if it's random. I think you can choose the Devil Breaker that you start with, and once that gets broken, it changes to another one. Or I think you can change it yourself until the next one breaks. But if you time them just right, I mean, we'll look at them because they just give you so many abilities. And then you have Red Queen. Continuous haste effect. There you go. That saves you like 16 SC from your from your SC cost, and on top of that, that takes away something from your skill tree. So instead of having haste, he can have something custom, which is very nice. So the fact that Red Queen has continuous haste effect, this is the first time we're getting haste from a trait. And that's not the only thing. When he has a sword equipped, physical damage plus 35%, which could be a damn trait on its own, plus you get a physical damage cap of 3,000. 3,000 is very nice. 3,000 is very nice. So, you know, just the damage 35% and the physical damage cap could be a trait on its own. They don't even have to put continuous haste effect in here. It's just really awesome that they're putting haste in as a trait, so it doesn't have to be part of his actual skills. That leaves room for more stuff. So let's go through his skills and just kind of keep in mind how damn near complete this all is, right? First of all, we got Fighting Spirit, and it's 5. So you're getting 10% to strength and hit points. We love it when they group stats together. You're getting 20% off of this. That's amazing, and it's costing you 0 SC. This ability is worth 12 to 14 SC on its own. Crit up 2, crit up 3, good crits. And then we have advanced aim vitals, right? So then all you have to do is give them the aim vitals, the cheaper one. That's the best part, is they're giving you the most expensive one, right? A lot of times they'll give you aim vitals. You have to get advanced aim vitals. That costs like 6 SC. You got Proud Force. I want to call it Blood Force, but it's Proud Force. That's nice to have for free, so you don't have to pick it up. Devil Hunter. This is always great when we're, getting a bunch of these categories together. Beast, creature, spirit, and undead. More damage to them. Yeah, that's awesome. That's worth a ton of SC. You have Auto Brave, Auto Crit, right? Awaken. This is nice to have. It's not a cheap ability. And you get Sky High 2. So they're giving you the expensive abilities. All you have to do is put in Sky High 1. That doesn't really take that much SC. And then you have Air Hike. Damage plus 30% and crit rate plus 10% against airborne enemies. So his S1 can be a thing of its own. You can literally make like an S1 build where all he's going to do is run around and spam S1 and juggle the shit out of people and get such a huge damage boost for enemies up in the air. Between Sky High 2, Sky High, Air Hike, and his gun that gives him an extra 25% to the damage of his S1 already. It's phenomenal how much sky damage this guy gets just right here without even tweaking anything. And then you can add Sky High 1 to that. So, and hey, for fights where you can't knock people up in the air, that's when you just start strengthening the different elements on this guy, right? He's got Blessed Speed. He's got dual wield in here already, right? And Sword Boost, Machine Boost, and Machine High Boost, Ultimate Boost, Quick Trigger, and he's got Giant Killer. He's got Giant Killer already. He's going to be doing that extra 20% damage to skill and special to bosses. That is phenomenal. That's an expensive ability right there. You know, that's typically something you would add to one of these characters. The way I look at it is we have Giant Killing here because we don't have to have Haste here, because Haste is being taken care of by one of his traits, whatever you want to call it. So it's phenomenal. They have room to put in Giant Killing instead, and he kind of just gets to have both, right? Then we get to his DB abilities. Devil Break. There's Overture, which physical damage plus 20%. When active, Devil Breaker, like when this is the one that's active, chance for skill attacks to deal extra thunder damage and stun. This can be very nice for arena for stunning. Very cool. Then if that one breaks, it can change over to DB Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter is crit damage plus 30%. When active, Devil Break, chance for physical attacks to greatly lower defense and deal damage. Crit rate plus 10%. That's phenomenal. That is just great. We have DB Tomboy. Physical special damage cap plus 3,000. Very nice. When active, Devil Breaker, skill damage plus 40% and break plus 50%. Tomboy is that shit, especially for breaking down a boss, and skill damage plus 40% is absolutely effing insane. And then you're going to put Sharp Eyes on top of that. And then we have DB Buster Arm. Attack special have a chance to crit. Special damage, get this, 80%. We're not talking small percentages here, people. This isn't no 25% to your special. This is 80%. And when it's active, your hit point cap is up by 5,000. Not 500, 5,000. And strength and defense get a 50% boost. Guys, these aren't 20 and 25%. These are 50%, 80%. These are absolutely effing insane. That is how powerful these are. These huge percentage bonuses that all of these apply. So it's all about just controlling them. But other than that, guys, look, this is a complete kit. He has everything. What else are you going to add to him? So, of course, strengthening his kit and giving him Fire Attack Rise 1 or 2. Hey, maybe you're going into a fight where the enemy's weak against fire. So really just beef up his S1, which is fire damage and aerial damage. You could get the damage on that just to skyrocket, right? And if you don't need to use your S3 because it's earth damage and maybe the enemy has earth resistance, then don't bring Earth Attack Rise. Instead, bring a bunch of defensive abilities to beefing him up, right? These characters came with arcs that have abilities that let you bring more of an ability count. They let you charge your abilities more, right? So if you want to get Fire Attack Rise 1 and 2, you can also get that other ability that would let you hold an extra S1. And then you would have more S1s to dump. And since your S1 would be empowered with the Fire Attack Rise 1 and 2, you can totally bank off of just one or two of these skills. It is kind of nice that this guy covers the whole gambit. Maybe you're going into a fight where you can do fire damage and you can do lightning damage, right? So give him Fire Attack 1 and 2, and then give him Thunder Attack 1 if you can, or however many you can fit on him. The point is, he shouldn't really have to spend that much SC on anything else. Yeah, he's pretty damn complete. Like I said, they even moved haste over to an actual trait instead of having it take up a skill. So that's impressive. I think this guy is very pliable. I think he can be used in a lot of different fights, and he can provide good damage, especially if you build him right. The thing is, in order to be able to build this character to be as pliable as you want, to run all over the place, you're going to have quite the plethora of arcs. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to want the arc that has Fire Attack Rise 2. You're going to want the arc that has Earth Attack Rise and Earth Attack Rise 2 if you can get that one. I don't even think that one's out yet. I do know we have Earth Attack Rise 1. And you're going to want the arc that has, Thunder Attack Rise. Just so you can power up these individually, right? You can also work on powering up his S4. Showdown is pretty damn potent. I dig it. It's a great combo, but I think he's going to get a lot out of his S1 through S3. Dante, I feel like, needs his S4 more. His S4 actually gives him a buff after he uses it. But this guy, I think you're going to get more out of his S1 through S3. He's got a very interesting kit. I like how all the combos work. I like the airborne damage. It's great. You can totally see the difference in damage from like his basic attack could barely just be scratching an enemy. He does his aerial combo and they're dead instantly just because, it's a high modifier already, and you got sky high, and you got an extra 25% damage to aerial combat to begin with. So this guy's got a lot going for him. All depends on how you want to use him. Is it ever going to be a perfect world where you're fighting an enemy that's weak to fire and weak to earth and weak to lightning? I mean, if there is, this guy's absolutely going to obliterate that fight. But chances are you're only going to really be able to fully take advantage of, probably one or two of these skills for maximum damage, depending on what your enemy's weak to, unless they're weak to everything, like I said. And if all else fails, your S4 appears to be non-elemental. I actually kind of thought they would have made it dark damage, but hey, you can always strengthen your S4. Yes, like I said, these are going to be expensive abilities to do this. But like I said, what else are you going to spend abilities on with this guy, right? Like, what else? What else are you going to need? I'm kind of getting that vibe from V as well, except for V. Alright, I'm going to give you guys a spoiler. The way I'm looking at V is you're going to be adding magic to him. So this is... I dig how they did this. I like how they lay these characters out. They make very good platforms, and you put whatever you want on them to complete them. But I will say this, for Nero, it's going to really benefit you to have a huge plethora of attack rise abilities with different elements. Because that's really what you're going to want to add to this guy, just to supercharge his S1 through S3. And I think his S1 through 3 is where a ton of his damage is going to come from. Anyway, this is my opinion on this character. If I'm wrong about anything, someone please correct me. I would love to know. And yeah, this is the opinion I formulated after running him for almost a day. So if something I said was wrong, please correct me. I'm doing the best that I can here. But I do want to get these reviews out because I want people to kind of know what they're getting when they're pulling for these characters. I know not everyone has dumped all their resources yet. People are still waiting to kind of get some insight on these characters. I want to put something out. That Nerd DK is dropping a video on Nero too, so go make sure to check out what he's got to say about this character. But this is kind of how I'm looking at this guy. Now, if I'm wrong, like I said, let me know. You could just change my perspective on it, but that's kind of the way that I see it. The way they've set him up, he's already got everything. And the Devil Breaker thing is totally fun. It's going to make him a different experience of a character to play, because you're kind of playing a slot machine with the buffs that he gets. And let me tell you, this guy gets amazing buffs. They are ridiculous percentages. Anybody thinks that 80% to something is low, you're tripping. I'm sorry. And we're used to seeing like a 20-25% increase to strength or something. You know, this guy's getting like 50 or 80 or just something ridiculous. Those percentages are just crazy. So if you can just get the right buff matched up for what you're trying to do, you know, maybe use one of the defensive buffs, and then if that breaks halfway through the fight, hopefully you can break the enemy, and one of his breakers that give you a huge amount of damage is applied, and you can use that on a broken boss. I mean, hey, if the stars align and the boss is broken and you're doing 80% more damage, or you have a 60% strength increase or whatever the hell with some of these crazy ass bonuses they get, that could do a boss in. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like playing the slot machine with him a little bit, but I think that's part of the appeal of this character. Also, I do believe you get to actually pick which one of these devil breakers is applied to him, right? And then after he takes a bunch of damage, then it gets changed to a different one. So you have some control over it, and I think that's pretty cool. I like what they did with this character. This guy's one of my favorites, and I'm rooting for him. I hope he gets his arm back. Alright, so I'm going to go start working on V. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'm going to need a second because I really need to get my thoughts together for him. He is the most difficult character to pin down. I don't think too many people are going to argue that with me. He also is one of the most niche promising characters that we have. He's going to have the most crazy different kind of build. He's the character that has the interesting basic attack. You know, Dante and Nero, their basic attacks are like, they're alright, but it's really their skill kits, their ability kits are just effing insane, and they're great. But V, our boy V, is something completely different. I don't want to say too much more about him till the next vid, because, man, we're talking about a caster that comes with no spells. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. So, all I can say is magic battery platform. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the next vid, but I do need some time to prepare. So you guys are going to have to give me a minute because I really want to go through a lot of the nitty-gritty things with him. But very promising, unique builds. That's what I'm seeing for V. That is why I saved him for the very last. And he's also the most fundamentally different character on this collab. So that's what we have to look forward to next. I hope you enjoyed this review of Nero. This is all IMO, of course. It's just my opinion. My opinion can be changed, especially on a character that I've only been running for a day. But I feel pretty confident in this. This is how I see him working, and this is how I see him being built. If anybody has a better idea of how to build this guy and to unlock more damage, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm more than friendly. I won't bite. I don't attack people, and especially if you can teach me something, I'll even come on here and give you props and thank you for the knowledge that you have bestowed upon me. That's what the channel's for, folks. Feel free to leave any comment you want, and have an awesome night. It's been a busy night. My device even died, which is ridiculous because this thing has like a 16-hour battery. That is just how much I've been recording today. So this is it. This is the last one. I am going to go play with V now, though, and start formulating my opinions on him. And your boy is feeling judgmental AF. So I will talk at you all at the flip side, my babies. Have a good night.